What's up, people? Jay here. Just got done watching Talking Smack on the WWE Network. I've said it a million times already. I'll go ahead and make it 1,000,001. I fucking love Talking Smack. And this show has solidified itself as a top contender for highlight of the week each and every week when it comes to WWE programming. I get something out of Talking Smack that I can actually sink my teeth into and carry from one moment to the next. Just some great entertainment, character development, all of that good stuff. I really do love Talking Smack. And I guess we'll talk about SmackDown in this video too. You know, let's go ahead and acknowledge the fact that there would not be an after show if there was not a main show for it to come on after. So we'll talk about both, and hopefully everything will flow together nicely and it'll all make sense in the end. Or at least I hope so, but shit, I guess you can be the judge of that. Go ahead and rate this video whatever you think it deserves. Thumbs up, thumbs down, and leave comments down below. What do you think about all of the things that I'm discussing in this video? And what are your opinions on what you saw on SmackDown and Talking Smack tonight? With that being said, let's go ahead and put the focus on Daniel Bryan for a little bit, because things were really put into perspective for me tonight. And the catalyst to this was a tweet that I saw from PWF Empire contributor Manny. He posted on Twitter that he thought that Daniel Bryan was condescending on Talking Smack, and I believe that he was referring to the segment with him and Alexa Bliss on the show. And I had to think about that for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I guess he is being a little bit condescending. Then I would have went a few steps further than that, and I was like, Daniel Bryan is flat out an asshole tonight. And going even further than that, I realized that that was the exact same role that he has played from the first episode of Talking Smack. And with that being said, though, his asshole-ishness is an integral reason as to why I love that show so much in the first place. I talked a few weeks ago about how Talking Smack breaks that scripted format of WWE, and I realized that when I'm looking at that show and the moments that I really enjoy about that show, 9 times out of 10 they come as a result of a prompt from Daniel Bryan. Like, he's the catalyst that kicks all of that stuff off. Just take a look at the segment with him and The Miz, how he provided that platform for The Miz to do what he did, and he does that with everyone pretty much that you see on that show. And what he does is he challenges the superstars and he tries to throw them off their game, not in the sense that he's trying to embarrass them or anything. It's like, well, shit, I'm providing you with this platform. I'm giving you an opportunity to breathe life into your character. What are you going to do in this very moment where I'm challenging you on the spot? So he's throwing curveballs, and he's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? This ball is coming your damn way. Are you going to strike out? Are you going to be caught looking? Are you going to try to knock this shit out of the park? And when it comes to Alexa Bliss being on the show tonight, I mean, she didn't hit a grand slam home run like The Miz did a few weeks ago, but still, she got a few RBIs in, and she has a very nice batting average, and I was very impressed with Alexa Bliss on this show. My anti-Sour Patch Kid, because you know how the Sour Patch Kids are like sour on the outside, sweet on the inside. Alexa Bliss is the opposite of that, because she's so sweet and petite and small and adorable, but she has some fucking venom in her. Like, when she gets that smile going, just knowing that that shit is going to turn into this scowl and she's going to strike you and, you know, inject some poison into you. She did that on the show tonight, and that was, you know, good stuff. And she was very quick on her feet, and everything that Daniel Bryan was throwing her way, she had a nice response to it. But what was most impressive out of all when it comes to Alexa Bliss is how she effectively laid out the entire structure of what her feud with Becky Lynch should be. Alexa Bliss won a 5-way women's match on SmackDown. She's now the #1 contender to Becky Lynch's SmackDown Women's Championship. And like I said, she laid out the whole damn structure of what this feud should be leading into their championship match. She talked about how she was down in NXT before Becky Lynch got there, and she saw her come through the friggin' door, and she's been able to follow her on every single step of her career. And that has to be some kind of animosity building up in Alexa Bliss to say, well, I'm not saying there has to be. Shit, there is. She talked about the animosity, looking at Becky Lynch as she made all of these accomplishments. She became such this important part of the women's revolution down in NXT. She moved up to the main roster a full year before Alexa Bliss did, had a championship match at WrestleMania. Now she stands as the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, and Alexa Bliss is standing off to the sidelines, offended by the fact that she's been pushed to the wayside for this person that came in after her. Then you take into account the fact that already Alexa Bliss has pinned Becky Lynch at least twice on SmackDown. So she's looking at her like, I got your number. It's only a matter of time before we step into the ring and I defeat you. Like, I've done it before. I've pinned you before. This time a championship is going to be on the line and I'm going to take your moment. After all of you've taken from me through these years, I'm going to take that championship from you. And boom, there you go. All the creative team has to do is slap some meat on those damn bones and, you know, throw the skin on. And she pretty much did most of the work right there. Just take it and run with it. There it is right there. So we also had Baron Corbin on Talking Smack on SmackDown tonight. I was about to say he competed against Apollo Crews, but he didn't compete against him. He just beat the shit out of him before the match even started. And that was actually a thread that they were discussing on Talking Smack. And I just love the character of Baron Corbin so much. And I've been a fan of his since his days in NXT. I don't remember the specific time that I became a fan of his, but I'm sure that it came after his feud with Bull Dempsey, because that match that they had at that TakeOver special, that was a hot-ass motherfucking mess. But I'm glad those days are behind him. And I'm a really big fan of Baron Corbin, and I'm hoping that WWE provides other people with an opportunity to see how awesome he is. And the way that they do that is they connect the dots between all of those things that he was saying on Talking Smack and bring some of that to SmackDown. Like, it's great supplemental content, and I love Talking Smack in that it is supplemental, but sometimes it's stuff that happens on that show that needs to be on the main fucking show. Because if you look at Baron Corbin and how he attacks Kalisto backstage, how he attacked Apollo Crews on tonight's episode of SmackDown, a lot of that stuff seems very hollow if we don't get the backstory as to why he's doing what he's doing. Like, if we just see him attack Apollo Crews, we're like, okay, well, this is just getting him from point A to point B, whatever the fuck point B is. It's a very shallow segment. It's not shallow at all. It's actually very deep, because if you look at Talking Smack, Baron Corbin is pretty much a sadist. He gets pleasure out of inflicting pain on other people. He said it himself that he beating the shit out of Apollo Crews was a birthday present that he gifted to himself. And what's funny and awesome at the same time about Baron Corbin is he's sitting there trying to wrap his head around the fact that Daniel Bryan is not impressed by what he does. Because Baron Corbin is like, okay, well, if I compete in the ring with this guy, my objective is to get him on his back. Okay, well, shit. I'm going to beat his ass backstage and put him on his back there. I'm going to beat his ass, ringside and put him on his back there. Like, the objective is to get someone on their back and beat their ass. Why are you not impressed? And Daniel Bryan was sitting there like, well, you had a chance to impress us tonight by beating Apollo Crews. And he's like, I already whooped his ass at Backlash. What was he, the pre-show? Yeah, he beat him in the pre-show on Backlash. He's like, what do I have to prove here? Like, I already know I'm better than him. He doesn't have it. There's nothing for me to gain here. And then Renee Young was looking at him like, okay, well, do you want to just beat people up or do you want to win championships? Like, your GM is telling you this is how you win championships. You go in there and you defeat people in the ring. He was like, well, Apollo Crews doesn't have a championship, so I beat him up. And I love that character of Baron Corbin so much. Like, Baron Corbin is who I wish WWE had the courage to make Roman Reigns. Like, if they could, if we could like create this alternate universe and take Baron Corbin's gimmick and give it to Roman Reigns, oh my God. But shit, I mean, I'm hoping that we get something out of Baron Corbin where I don't have to say something like that. Like, he could rise up the ranks in SmackDown and become his own, big player in the grand scheme of things. But before that happens, you need to add that substance and let people know why he does what he does on the main show. You gotta connect it. It has to be a part of that same product. Let's see what else happened on the show. Of course, that opening segment on SmackDown, AJ Styles, John Cena, and Dean Ambrose, that was fucking awesome. John Cena was out there and shit. Like, I love these moments where I have people in the ring saying exactly what I want to say to those characters. And for John Cena to stand there and he went the long... basically what he told Dean Ambrose was, stay out of grown folks' business. This is Thanksgiving and your ass is still sitting at the kids' table. Stay out of grown folks' business. This ain't got shit to do with you. But, you know, he was talking about how Stone Cold was right when he said that Dean Ambrose was resting on his laurels and said that he hasn't stepped up, and he's been a whack-ass champion, and he didn't, you know, I don't know how he lost the match at Backlash with AJ Styles kicking him in the groin because he didn't have any balls to begin with. So great stuff from John Cena. Everything that I wish I could say to the character of Dean Ambrose. And I'm so glad that they finally incorporated that Stone Cold podcast into the actual storylines, because now they put us into a situation where we can't avoid it now. Like, it was cool for us to sit back and talk about it like, oh, Dean Ambrose, he's a scrub. He's not responding to this stuff from Stone Cold, what he said, and this is just making him look foolish. And now it's unavoidable. Like, the fact that it's a part of the storyline, if we don't get a change from Dean Ambrose's character, this is the final nail in the fucking coffin. Like, it's over for you, dude. Like, if I don't see a bit of lunacy from you, not a bit, a whole hell of a lot of it going forward, I don't know what I could possibly do with that. You had Stone Cold call you out on the podcast. Now it's a part of canon in WWE that you're a fucking bum. Like, you gotta do something. And WWE creative team, I'm hoping that you are equipped to provide a platform for him to, you know, flex a little bit, and we could see what he's really made of. Like, that has to be the reason why you introduced this into the storyline, right? But yeah, Dean Ambrose, he had some good stuff responding back to John Cena. Talking about how he's basically WWE's mascot, and they're like, oh yeah, you can go host this show, and you can go do this, and you can do that, because you don't really got it in the ring anymore. That one I was kind of a little thrown off by, because to me, the feud with AJ Styles was never about John Cena losing a step. It was just always about AJ Styles being that much better. Like, that's what it was about to me. It never was, oh, John Cena, he's getting a little long in the tooth. This guy is getting a little bit old. What the hell is going on with here? It's just that AJ Styles was a master technician and a student of the game, and he studied John Cena, and he just... it's not that John Cena got any worse. It's just that AJ Styles was so much better. But maybe with Dean Ambrose introducing that onto TV, is this something that we're going to see going forward? Are we going to get the story of the wheels falling off the Cena bandwagon, or at least starting to wobble a little bit? I don't know. I guess that's something to look forward to. But yeah, great segment from all of those guys. And we got a triple threat match to look forward to with them coming up at No Mercy. Glad that name is back too. Yeah, that was a great start to the show. I'm looking over the stuff for SmackDown. The Miz, he continues to impress me each and every fucking week. He goes out there, and the promo that he cut, once again, great shit from The Miz. Like, this is... I'm not even going to say arguably. This is the most I've been impressed by The Miz, I think, in his entire career. And the fact that it's sustained on a week-to-week basis. It's not just like one cool promo here. Like, The Miz looks like a fucking star. He really does. And then you got that loser, Dolph Ziggler. I continue to be tickled by the utilization of Dolph Ziggler, and The Miz constantly sticking it to Danny Bryan. That's good stuff. Like, you know, like the character of Danny Bryan, it has to eat him up inside that this person that he doesn't respect as a performer is constantly making a fool of him. And that's some, like, The Miz, man, who would have known God damn, The Miz, just so impressive in the ring, on the mic, just the overall execution of his character. Great stuff from Miz. Talked about the women a little bit already, but yeah, that was a really good Fatal 5-Way. The match. Continued to be impressed by Naomi, and then the stuff going on with Carmella and Nikki Bella. Still some great build-up with them. What else do we have? Heath Slater. I don't know if he officially signed the contract or not. I kind of missed that with the Ascension coming out and interrupting. I was going to flip my shit if they had the Ascension beat Heath Slater and Rhyno. Because I was actually thinking that this was going to happen. Like, we were going to get a team to challenge Heath Slater and Rhyno and then end up taking the titles from them. And I guess this was on the minds of the creative team members in WWE, and they basically just trolled us. They're like, oh shit, well, Heath Slater ended up getting his contract out of this, so shit, we could take the titles from him now, and they got what they want. But you motherfuckers trolled. But I'm not gonna. It was clever. It was nice. You scared the hell out of me, and it was fun in the end. So yeah, that was a good little ruse that you played there. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, I have absolutely nothing to say about them. Still just sitting back waiting on something to capture my attention. I guess the only thing that really captured my attention tonight was Bray Wyatt saying "till death do us part" for Randy. I'm like, well shit, are you trying to fight this guy, or is this like a wedding ceremony? Like, are you giving him vows right now? I don't know, but I have nothing more to say than that. The final match of the night, the main event, Dean Ambrose and John Cena versus AJ Styles and The Miz. That partnership between AJ Styles and The Miz, I so wanted them to win this match, because I look at those two guys, and as different as they may be, you guys don't even know the similarities that they have. Like, on the surface, you're like, what do they have in common? But The Miz and AJ Styles, they have a whole hell of a lot in common. Those are two great characters that are really doing the damn thing right now in WWE, and two of my favorite guys overall. So I wish they would have won this match. The Miz, he looked good when he attacked, what is that guy's name? James Ellsworth, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, it was cool to see him back. That was a fun little moment, but I wish Miz and AJ Styles would have won this match. Not really complaining that they didn't, because I understand what WWE is trying to do, trying to continue to build up the animosity between Dean Ambrose and John Cena. But it's just like so much is going right for The Miz and AJ Styles. I just wanted to see them stand victorious at the end of the show. And that's just a mark in me. But yeah, that's it for the show tonight. Great stuff with Talking Smack and that character development. And once again, I'll reiterate the awesomeness of that first segment of the night with AJ Styles, John Cena, and Dean Ambrose. I'm crossing my fingers. Like, I don't want to hate Dean Ambrose. I don't want to hate anybody, to be quite honest. But I have to call a spade, and I call it like I see it. And if I'm not liking what I'm seeing from you, then shit, that's not my responsibility to do anything about it or change what I'm saying. It's up to you to promote that change and then live it out on TV. And I'm hoping that this is an indication that they are going to do things differently with Dean Ambrose. So yeah, I guess we'll see how things develop going forward. And that's it for me. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you later. Peace.